There was a say, in the beginning of time, there was a podcast. Beer Bubble!
Hi guys, welcome back to Beer Bubbles, the bubbliest podcast in the world. Lotte, not your first time in this podcast.
No, I'm very honoured to be here again, Cece. Thank you for having me on.
It's so good to have you here, and you've put together quite a show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We do our best. We try our hardest to bring American craft beer to the masses.
Some really good brewers here today.
Absolutely.
You together with Tomp Wine and Spirits, beer, wine and spirits, basically. The importer of all the wonderful beers that are on tap here at Bishop Arms Odengatan. How do you find it so far? Have you had a good time?
Having a great time. Going very well. Lots of eager beer drinkers out there, and they're engaging with the brewers, and they're drinking all the beers and hopefully enjoying and discovering some amazing American craft beer flavours and ingredients that they've never had before.
For those who didn't listen to the last episode you were in, tell us a bit about you and a bit about BA, because that is kind of an organization that makes a difference.
Well, thank you for that endorsement, Cece. So I'm Lotte Peplow. I'm the American Craft Beer Ambassador for Europe, and I work for the Brewers Association, which is a trade body, a trade association based in Boulder, Colorado, that represents the small and independent American craft brewery. And it basically helps look after them. It helps to promote and protect the small and independent brewery in ways that would be difficult for them to do themselves. So I'm over here helping to fly the flag for American craft beer, get more people drinking it on more occasions, more often, and appreciating it.
But you're not from there.
No, I'm British. Do I sound from
No,
I'm
no,
from
no.
America? I'm from the UK.
So.
I'm from the UK.
How many members does BA have right now?
About 5,500 members.
That's
a lot.
crazy.
And CC, there are now 9,761 independent craft breweries in America.
That is
Huge.
amazing.
Yeah.
We got some work to do, guys. We got to start more breweries. Well, we're a smaller country. But have you noticed, because we've noticed a trend that some brewers are actually, we're losing some breweries now. Mainly the ones who didn't have a business plan. Because 10 years ago, you could just start a brewery and your beers would sell. It's not that easy anymore.
You're completely right, CC. Gone are the days of a passion project. You can't just open a beer because you love beer and you're a good brewer. You have to have a brewing plan. You have to have a business plan. It's all about resilience. It's all about numbers and data and consulting experts. You have to know what you're doing. And I think we have seen some closures in the US, obviously, but not as many as you would expect. You know, the openings are still outpacing closures by a small margin, but there's still growth. It's still growing.
And also, it's not just making good beer. It's visibility, it's logistics, and BA is there to help out with some of that stuff at least.
Not only that, but one of the big pieces the Brewers Association does is advocate with Congress and with the Senate for duty reforms or tax reductions or money, basically, that will really, really help the small and independent craft brewer. And they can't do that kind of thing on their own. So there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to advocate at Congress and Senate level to get changes made. And that makes a huge difference.
We have a big problem here in Sweden because the issue that's been brought forward now the last years is about selling straight from breweries to end consumer, which is illegal because we have a monopolized system here in Sweden. But to me, that's not the big issue. To me, it's the differentiated tax on alcohol, which every country in Sweden has, in Europe has, except Sweden and Spain. And in Spain, it's a no question because their alcohol tax is so low anyhow. And this means that the biggest breweries pay just the same amount of tax on their alcohol that they sell that the smallest do, which is just crazy. And I'm saying this because I really need to raise this question. I'm sorry, you're with me here in the podcast, but this is something that you have that kind of system, and BA helps the American breweries with that kind of things in the US. We don't have that.
Well, it's a great pity that the Swedish people or Swedish Brewing Association doesn't set that up, because it would really help. For example, in America, the Brewers Association successfully negotiated a 50% cut in duty at the end of 2020, I think it was. It took about 10 years, 12 years actually. You know, it was driven by the chief exec and president, Bob Pease, and it was called the Craft Beverage Modernization Act, something like that, kombucha for short. But it took a long time, but it did slash duty by 50%, and the brewers loved that.
Amazing. We need help if we're gonna stop losing good breweries in Sweden. So listener, you guys, help us out and bring this question forward, because it's a game changer for the breweries. Lotte, I'm not going to keep you from your friends down there, all the good beers down there, the nice weather outside. It's gorgeous outside.
Very lovely, yes.
Last time I asked you the Grim Reaper question. You're going to die right now. You can have one more beer. Remember that?
I do.
I'm going to change it up a bit. I'm going to do the Desert Island question instead. You can have one more beer, but you can have as many as you want, but it's just going to be one. It's not always the same, is it, as the one that you have at the end?
Well, I think the only answer to that, CC, is it's the beer that I have in front of me. It's the beer that I have. And here it is. And here is the beer that I have in front of me. And it's a hazy IPA. So I think that would be my Desert Island beer that I would drink forevermore.
Lotte, thank you very much for being a part of the podcast again. And have a great night. Great stay in Sweden, in Stockholm. And, just go down and enjoy yourself.
Thank you so much, CC. It's been a pleasure as always. And cheers.
Cheers. And you guys out there, whatever you do, drink better beer.
There was a saying, in the beginning of time, there was a podcast.